Hello, Rick Tryon here with BibleRebel.com, and this is the 8th video in our Bible 101 series. In our previous video, we went over the context. Understanding the context is key to understanding the Bible, and we covered in the last two videos the three different kinds of context, which is the historical cultural context, the biblical context, and the spiritual context. So you have to know where you are in those three things in order to better understand the Bible. Now, today I want to go over some materials and tools, study tools, that you can use to help you in your study of the Bible. So the first thing I want to do in this video is talk about different versions of the Bible. And there's all kinds of versions out there. Let me give you a cautionary note. Stay away from the modern translations or the Good News translations, mostly because what they do is they try to put it all into modern language. And remember, one of the keys that we have to understand is the historical, cultural context. We can't put our modern ideas, read them into the Bible. We have to understand how the people of that time, living in that time, would have understood it. And some of these modern, Good News for Modern Man and these new Message Bibles are not very good in keeping that principle in mind. They just put too much, even some of them, take out pronouns and stuff and try to do sort of a politically correct and modern language. So stay away from those. You can't go wrong with the good old-fashioned King James Version. I like that. I use that. There are some other good versions of the Bible. And when we're talking versions, we're talking about the translations of manuscripts. Remember, we talked very early in the series about how the Bible is an ancient book and it came down to us in various stages. So a version is sort of a translation taken from various manuscripts and then put into a certain methodology for getting it into our language. And so King James is good. I like the New International Version. The NIV is good. The New American Standard Version, as well as the American Standard Version, are all good. Just remember, whatever version you're reading, though, remember that chapters and verse numbering were not in the original. Those are added. So you just have to keep that in mind. Manuscripts were usually scrolls and they didn't have chapter markings or verse markings. So that's a little bit about versions. Another good tool to use is the old-fashioned concordance. I've got an old one here that I use, which is called the Young's Analytical Concordance. And remember that the New Testament is written in Greek and the Old Testament originally in Hebrew. And so a concordance, when you come across a word in the Bible like the word church, you can go look at it. It's in a alphabetical order of English words, and then you can look at it and it will give you the Greek word and the Greek meaning of the word. For instance, church is the word just means called out, and they give you what that Greek definition is. And then every time it's used and every usage in the Bible, so that you can do a word study of, for instance, the word church, to get a broad context of what that word means in the context, in the broad context. The other study tool that I want to bring up are commentaries, and you can find tons and tons of commentaries. You go buy them on Amazon, check them out from the library, get them from your bookstore. And commentaries are, I've got one here, a commentary on the book of Revelation. And it's just somebody who goes through verse by verse, a scholar or someone who is, trained in biblical exegesis will go through verse by verse, usually in a book like a commentary on the book of Romans, or a commentary on the book of Revelation, or a commentary on the book of Genesis. And those can be very helpful study tools if you really want to dig into a particular book of the Bible. And then finally, the tool that I use and that a lot of people now use, and it's awesome that we live in our modern world here where we have online tools. And one of the ones that I really like and that I use is called blueletterbible.com. One word, blueletterbible.com. And that website has a ton of like an online concordance, an online biblical dictionary, and all kinds of really great resources. But there's a ton of those online now that you can go find, and they can be very helpful. Instead of digging up your old, Young's Concordance like this, you can just go online and sort of get the same tool to use. So blueletterbible.com is a great online resource. So remember, it's just get a good version of the Bible, the one you like. I like King James or New International Version or American Standard Version. So get a concordance of some kind, either online or a hard copy. Use commentaries on the various books of the Bible that you can get. You can even get some of that online, and use your online resources as well. So that kind of gives you some idea of, just for beginners, some tools you can use to help you study and understand the Bible. All of these tools are just helps. They'll help you understand. You have to dig in, but like for the commentaries and some of the versions, they're not always 100% accurate in their interpretations. So keep that in mind. Next time, we'll start to wrap up the Bible 101 series. So we'll see you then. Thanks. Bye-bye.